Victoria Carey, at the age of 24, breathed life through every pore of her skin. She was raised in the bustling, diverse city of Chicago, the child of a modest middle-class couple, where shrewdness and dedication to studies were the most valued assets. Brilliant and with an insatiable thirst for knowledge, Victoria always stood out at school. It was during her years of study, immersed in books and research, that she discovered a passionate love, biology. The mystery and complexity of life deeply fascinated her, and defying all odds and criticism, Victoria decided to follow her passion, earning a degree in biology. Amidst the pressure and stress of graduation, a light emerged. Mark. Eyes as blue as summer skies, a captivating smile, and a charming personality that seemed to complete her. Mark was Victoria's haven, the love that brought color to her life. However, like the storm that comes without warning, the future was about to shake Victoria's life balance. But before the story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and let us know in the comments what you thought of the video. With graduation came the opportunity to work in a renowned pharmaceutical laboratory. The initial excitement soon gave way to daily grind, long hours of work, studies, and the responsibilities of a home that Mark shared less and less. Tired, Victoria let herself be enveloped by the draining routine, gradually neglecting herself. She gained weight, the expression once full of vitality now carried fatigue. The transformation did not go unnoticed by Mark, and the changes in the relationship's dynamics became blatant. Suspicions whispered in her ears until, one day, the truth exploded before her eyes. Messages on Mark's cell phone, hints of betrayal. The words exchanged with a stranger fell like a bucket of cold water, shocking her, leaving her breathless. Consumed by intense pain, Victoria confronted Mark. Looking him in the eyes, she asked about the messages, each word vibrating with a mix of anger and despair. In response, Mark retaliated, blaming her, accusing her of not being the woman he fell in love with. Without further words, he left, leaving behind a deafening silence. Alone, Victoria went through dark weeks, where sadness was her only company. However, between tears and loneliness, something inside her awoke. Refusing to be defeated by sadness, she decided to react. Victoria understood that she needed to change, not for Mark, but for herself. That's when she dove even deeper into her work and started a workout routine. The gym became her sanctuary, a place where she could forget, even if just for an hour, all the problems. And so began Victoria's journey, a quest for personal overcoming, for discovering her own strength and ability to resist and be reborn. She was about to leave her comfort zone, facing her fears and learning to live without Mark. Unbeknownst to her, Victoria Carey was, with each step, closer to her true essence. The healthy routine became her beacon, bringing not only weight loss but a reinvigoration of her self-esteem. In addition to a new diet and dedication to the gym, Victoria started using natural supplements, accelerating her physical recovery process. Her determination was so great that, within a few weeks, the changes were noticeable. At work, her dedication did not go unnoticed. Victoria's performance and dedication caught the management's attention, earning her a promotion. Now, she not only had more responsibilities but also a significantly higher income. Her life was starting to improve, one day at a time. In the wake of her evolution, Victoria rediscovered the pleasure of socializing. She began to hang out with coworkers and make new friends. The sparkle in her eyes returned, the positive energy she radiated was almost palpable. The young and beautiful woman who had been sleeping awoke, stronger and more radiant than ever. On a Saturday night, Victoria and her friends decided to go to a party. She dressed carefully, the excitement bubbling within her. When she walked into the party, she caught everyone's attention. Her transformation was evident, not only physically but also in her confident smile, her determined walk. And then, among the crowd of faces, she saw Mark. What was once an image of perfection now looked worn out. He looked tired, unkempt, and, to Victoria's surprise, he had also gained weight. Seeing her, Mark moved toward her, like a beacon drawn to light. As he approached, Victoria felt a mix of emotions, an unfamiliar discomfort, but also a certain dose of satisfaction. Mark, in a desperate move, tried to convince her to come back. He said he missed her, that life without her was chaos. However, his words did not touch Victoria. She just laughed and, with an elegance she never knew she possessed, sidestepped him, leaving him stunned. As she distanced herself from Mark, Victoria felt a sense of freedom she had never experienced before. Life was waiting for her, and she was more than ready to face it. As she joined her friends and lost herself in the music, Victoria knew she had overcome the toughest hurdle in her life. Now, the world was at her feet, and she was ready to conquer it. The vibration of the music filled the hall as Victoria laughed and danced with her friends. With each dance step, each shared laughter, she felt a piece of the past slide off her shoulders. Mark's gaze, although clearly stunned, became just a distant memory amid her new euphoria. Throughout the night, Victoria was surrounded by several people who were genuinely interested in her. People who admired her strength and determination. People who were not looking for someone to make life easier, but who desired the company of a strong, independent woman. The compliments and attention she received were no longer uncomfortable. They were proof that the fight she had waged with herself was worth it. For the first time, Victoria didn't feel like she was hiding behind a shield. She was authentic, she was herself, and she was loved for it. As she left the party, she looked back only once, just to see Mark watching her. He was no longer surrounded by friends, he was no longer laughing. He was alone, just as she had been before. But unlike her, he didn't seem willing to do anything to change that. Victoria knew the journey had just begun. She knew there were still obstacles to overcome. However, she also knew she was ready to face whatever came next. The pain of betrayal and the struggle for self-acceptance hadn't been easy, but they had shaped Victoria into a stronger woman. She had stepped out of her comfort zone, faced harsh reality, and was beginning to reign in her own world. Looking at the moon above, Victoria felt a wave of gratitude. Gratitude for her strength, for her friends, and for the life she was starting to rebuild. As she climbed into the taxi with her friends, Victoria knew she had made the right choice. The night had ended, but Victoria's journey was just beginning. She had a bright future ahead, a future that she was ready to shape with her own hands. And with that, Victoria knew that, no matter what happened, she would be able to face it. And with a smile on her face and joy in her heart, Victoria was ready to face tomorrow. Because, after all, tomorrow is a new day, full of promises and potential. And Victoria was ready to embrace it with open arms. As the taxi drove off, Victoria looked in the rearview mirror and saw the club fading into the distance, the lights flashing, the silhouettes of people dancing, each in their own world. Her gaze met Mark's figure, awkward and lonely, so different from the man she had fallen for. For a moment, their eyes met. She saw surprise, confusion, and perhaps a bit of regret. A twinge of pity emerged, but she quickly pushed it away. He made his choice, and she made hers. And now, she was moving forward. She had a new chapter to write in her life. "We're heading to Bella's house, right?" The voice of Victoria's friend, Mariana, brought her back to the present. "Yes, please," Victoria responded, turning to the driver. Once the direction was confirmed, she turned and smiled at her friends. They were her family now, those who had stood with her during the hard times, those who had helped her find the strength she didn't even know she possessed. The rest of the ride was filled with laughter and stories, retelling the fun moments of the night, sharing the small victories that Victoria had along the way. They arrived at Bella's house, a cozy home in a quiet neighborhood of the city. Bella was the most grounded friend of the group, the person everyone turned to when they needed wise advice. "Let's celebrate," exclaimed Bella, leading them inside. The night stretched on with more laughter, more stories, and more celebrations. Victoria was surrounded by love and support, enveloped in the understanding and acceptance of her friends. She felt a wave of gratitude for having such wonderful people in her life. At the end of the night, as fatigue started to set in, each one curled up in a corner of Bella's couch. With her eyes closed and a smile on her lips, Victoria allowed herself to completely relax for the first time in months. She thought about her journey, about the rocks she encountered on the way, and how she managed to overcome them. She thought about the future, about the endless possibilities that now opened up to her. And she knew that, with her friends by her side, she could face anything that the future had in store for her. Victoria eventually fell asleep, snuggled among her friends, a content smile on her face. She knew she had a lot of work ahead, many challenges to face. But now, she also knew she had the strength to overcome them. Did you like this story? Comment below what you think and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.